Hey guys, I'm Angela and welcome back to Hobby Nights. We're deviating from our regularly scheduled content today because it is time for me to give you a grand tour of the new studio. Now, if you've been following the channel for any length of time, especially over the last couple months, you'll know that I recently moved. And in fact, we moved into a much bigger space, as you can probably tell. And there's lots of new areas that I'm going to be using for content. So I wanted to show you around a little bit. And the first room we're going to start with is right over here with my streaming room. Let me just get my Benny Q light on. This is my brand new streaming room. And I'm actually really excited for this because I've been wanting to do streaming and more video content for a while, but I didn't really have a good space, especially not in the old place because my computer space was in the same room as Chaos Cultist computer space, as well as it was my hobby room. So it got really busy and it was kind of hard to actually schedule things out. But now that I actually have a private little space all to my own where I can do computer stuff, I actually am hoping to get to streaming. I think I'm going to be doing it through YouTube Live, and don't think I have forgotten about our Q&A live stream for 30,000 subscribers. Don't worry, I know it's been delayed. I blame the
like
for
4
that.
times.
It's been delayed a few times, but it is still happening. I will be collecting some new questions and everything very soon, so be on the lookout for that. I will have an announcement about when that's happening, but hopefully it'll be happening from this room. Now, at the old place, you may have remembered the old Boardgame Wall. It was consisted of 2 Billy bookshelves. They were kind of the taller ones, but it was still only 2. Let me show you the new one. It's so much bigger. It has my entire collection all in one space, which honestly has been one of my main goals. And I absolutely love how we've been laying it out. Now we're still organizing it a little bit. You might have seen the shelf behind me when we first started this segment. That was a little bit empty, that one over there. Well, we're going to be moving a few board games over there. Also probably putting some of my anime figures and other things because I have a lot of collectibles and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So this is the Boardgame Wall. It's lovely. It'll slightly shift over time as we add new games. We've kind of themed it a little bit. Like, this is one of my favorite sections right here because it's all of my horror games. As you can tell, Mansions of Madness, one of my all-time favorites, has a shelf almost entirely to itself because I own all of it. It's kind of crazy. But we've also got a variety of other games. We've got a little bit more of our story theming games. We work our way into some good 2-players / deck builders, which is really fun. We've got some of our worker placement and all of that kind of down here. We've got some more worker placement. I've got a lot of those actually. I've got a lot of the same themes actually. I've thought about it recently, and deck building is one of my major mechanics that I think I have amongst all of the genres that I collect. It's in a lot of them. You'll probably see me talk about it a lot on Instagram. But, oh, and then this section here is actually one of my favorites because it's one where all my tiny epics live, which I do love their stuff. It also has a variety of dexterity games, which I'm actually really fond of. Like Junk Art is one of my all-time favorites. I actually been posting about it recently on my Instagram because if you want more board game stuff, that's definitely the place to follow me because I talk a lot more about this stuff. But I'm just so freaking pleased to actually have all of this out in one spot. Before in my old place, it was all over the place and it kind of sucked when I wanted to like talk about it or look for something. Now I just have to come over here and be like, where is it? There's so many games for me to look through and I look forward to expanding it because as you notice, they're not all like flush or anything like that. I have wiggle room to actually add more, and I definitely plan on doing so. Now, we're going to turn around. We're going to look at this wonderful table and also these miniatures here, which is probably the thing.
And your kitchen.
And my kitchen. And we'll talk a little bit about the kitchen because it's been part of my content a little bit recently, just not so much so on the YouTube videos, but if you've been following on the community, you've probably seen it. Actually, no, sorry, it's only been on Instagram. Regardless, we need to talk about these miniatures because honestly, let's face it, it's the thing you've seen the most. You've seen these miniatures a lot because this is where I've been presenting the news. And I have a mission to make, okay? I love presenting the news here. Like, it has made my news presentation life so much easier. I'm able to have my laptop with all of my notes. It's just fantastic, and I absolutely adore doing it. If you guys have been enjoying me presenting the news here, please let me know down in the comments below, because I really like the positive feedback, and I've just been really enjoying this space, so I'm hoping you guys are too. And I know this is the one part of the space that you've seen the most of. Now, I do want to talk about this kitchen a little bit, because if you do follow me on my other social medias, you've probably seen me in my cooking adventures recently. And I am going to continue that because I have just really been loving cooking. It's something I had always wanted to do at my old space, but my kitchen was atrociously tiny. And it just really made cooking uncomfortable, and there was just not enough space for anything. And now I have a whole bunch of space. So I've been doing a lot of cooking, and I'm going to be doing a lot more baking here in the near future because I have a convection oven and it's awesome. But we don't need to just talk about this space. I know you guys have all been waiting to see the hobby room, but I have one other space to show you before we get there, so let's do that first. This is one of my favorite new rooms that I was really hopeful we'd end up having, but I wasn't exactly sure how it would come to fruition. And look at it. Look at my wrestling wall. Isn't it glorious? If you are on my Patreon, you know that I buy the Pro Wrestling crate, and I do an unboxing every month. I also have the All Elite crate, which is where a lot of the signatures, as well as the micro brawlers that you see on the wall, are from. I don't plan on stopping collecting those anytime soon. We have enough space to keep adding to it. But this has just been something that I've been wanting to have up for just so long. I love these dumb figures. I love these really cool figures that I get from Ringside Collectible. They're just... Pro wrestling is something that came into my life hard and fast, and it just took me by surprise, and I absolutely adore it. And I've really enjoyed my obsession with it. And so just actually having this wall, having some of the posters from the events that I've actually gone to, signatures from some of my favorite wrestlers that I absolutely love. It's just like a really cool collection, and I've always wanted to be able to display it properly, and I have space to actually display it properly. Now, this isn't just the wrestling room, however. We've got other toys that I've been collecting as well. We've got a variety of my Power Ranger action figures here, which I do honestly kind of want to find a little bit of a better solution for, because as much as I do love the box art, I do want to display the figures a little bit more. So I'm still working out solutions for that. But I've also got a variety of my Marvel Legends figures. I almost forgot their name, as well as one of my all-time...
His wings are behind them.
Oh god, I didn't realize. I'm not gonna pull him out because I'm going to destroy everything. I'll adjust that in a second. Goliath is like my favorite. I absolutely adore him. I recently opened him up. He's got giant wings. I would show you, but I would destroy this room a little bit. And I think Chaos Cultist would be very mad because this is also his editing space. And I
set up that display.
He did. And I've come in and I've just wrecked it because that's what I do sometimes. I walk into his room and I just go, I'm a cat. I've realized I'm a cat. It's great. But this is just a really cool display wall that we're slowly growing. Oh, I also want to talk about these figures down here because these are actually some of our older figures. We have a really cool collection of the Final Fantasy VII characters and
Selfie.
Okay, Selfie was a random grab bag. And FYI, okay, when I did the anime, when we went to Fanime and we did the buying challenge and everything, with those grab bags, they used to be so much better than what they are now.
I agree.
When I was younger and going to anime conventions for the first time, I got killer figures out of grab bags that were like $60. And I got like 7 figures. It was insane and they were good. And I don't know what's happened and I'm sad. And Selfie's from one of them. That's why she's randomly there. The other thing that I really like is just these Dragon Balls. If you ever I love the transparency of them. It's just really, really cool. I wish they were bigger though.
Well, then they'd be the Namekian ones.
Exactly. I want both. Wait, I didn't realize the Earth ones were so much smaller.
Gohan wears one on his hat.
Oh my god, you're right. I just kind of assumed it was a really lightweight material, but I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, that's the size of the Earth ones.
You're right. I didn't realize that they were a slightly different size.
Yes.
Amazing, the things that you learn.
So, the bookshelves.
Yes, the bookshelves. We also have a collection of our D&D books.
I mean, you're blocking half of it.
I am sorry. Here is the other collection. These are the more active ones that we use. Also,
I mean,
I want to play this again. Also, I want to play this, and I'm so excited for the PC version of this game coming out. I know it may not be specifically tied to Fantasy Flight's version of Rogue Trader, but it's gonna be good.
yes, all of our Dungeons and Dragons stuff lives in here.
And it is a glorious collection, if I do say so myself. You can't really tell, but in these boxes are all of our Dwarven Forge, which I just love Dwarven Forge. If you've never seen it, it's really, really cool stuff. But yeah, we've got a variety of miniatures in here as well, which I need to paint, but haven't yet, and we're not going to talk about that. Shall we show you another room? Just before you enter the room you've all been waiting for, I wanted to show off my Star Wars collection because this hallway delights me. It's full of all of my favorite characters from Star Wars Rebels as well as the Bad Batch, and I continue to grow my Star Wars Black collection. And I think I'm going to expand it fully onto this wall over here, so this entire hallway is just Star Wars. But we now need to look at the room that everybody wants to see, and that is the hobby space. It's that time of the video where I interrupt to tell you about my Patreon and to let you know that we just added a Discord server which all tiers get access to. So if you're wanting a way to chat with me, share with me your projects, or just tell me what board games you're playing, definitely make sure to check the link below and check out my Patreon. The Hobby Room! Isn't it glorious? It's a little bit empty right now. I mean, you're seeing the majority of what's actually in the room. I do actually have a little bit of space for more shelving, but I am just so insanely happy to actually have this room open, the floor cleared, the desk set up, my shelves actually put together with the tools on them. I've even reorganized in a way that I think I am very satisfied with. I don't know how much, at least for the desk portion, that I'll actually be adjusting. And I just love this setup because I have all of the main colors of paint now that I use directly by the desk where I can access them while I'm filming and painting without really having to get up, which I know is a silly thing to complain about, but like, it just is a time saver, honestly. And I just love how it looks. I've also moved all of the tools that I think I'm going to be using most consistently to this area because I found that like over time when I was using at the old desk, I had all of the shelving units there. And while it worked really well because we had the long side against the wall, I never actually used the majority of those tools that were actually on that desk. So now I just have condensed it down to the ones that I do. And I just love this space. Also, I have a space for myself as well as for Chaos Cultist to both sit and do hobby stuff together, which we had kind of at the other space, but because my filming setup basically took his seat a lot of the times, he didn't end up getting a chance to actually film with, or not film, but actually paint with me very often. And now,
I mean, that's still the case because this takes my spot.
Well, yes, but you would never be painting with me while I was filming, but we can easily move that without it actually hitting your knees or being a problem like it was previously. And I'm just so pleased by that. Plus, I have a bunch of open wall space, which I plan on hanging art, as well as putting up a little thing where I can put some figures and some of my toys and some of the knickknacks that I've been building, as well as some of my KiwiCo stuff that I've been doing, which I have continued to be building, and I'm just really, really enjoying that. And I've got all of my like art books and everything, just all the stuff that I love is in this room, and I can continue to add to it because I've got space still. And that's the main thing. I know this has been a theme of this video, is just that we have space, but we do. And
that's
it means
amazing.
A lot.
And that's all the space we have, right?
It's, well, you know, there's one more space I want to show you. And that final space that I need to show you is up these stairs. Chaos Cultist, let's climb.
You're welcome.
Welcome to my wargaming room. I have a wargaming table and I'm so happy about it. This has been a long time coming, you guys. It's been a long goal of both myself and an even longer goal of Chaos Cultist to actually have a table that is large enough to play Warhammer 40,000 on in our own home. And now we actually have space to do so. We have an entire room dedicated to it. It's got this gorgeous table, which I absolutely love, that we got from IKEA, and it's just 2 countertops shoved together. But the beautiful thing is down here in this middle section, there's a gap, because if they're separated, you could put your feet under there, but screw that, I'm using it to store my storage containers, because now I don't have to worry about them being out, and I can just sort of shove the table aside when I need to take them actually to a local game store to go play a game with other people. Otherwise, my army just sits here, and we're gonna put 2. Now this room isn't quite finished. I will admit, this room is not fully finished, because over here, in this corner, we're going to move our 2 glass cases that you used to see in our hallway at our old space. And we're going to fill it with our armies and with our painted miniatures. And hopefully there'll be so much more painted miniatures in there, because, well, we have a hobby desk now that's all set up in its own room, which we saw earlier. But I'm just so happy with this space. Like, we have all our terrain up here so we can put it together a game really, really quickly. Like, we've got a variety just stored down here. There's other shelves on the other side. Then we've got our 4 shelves here. And honestly, one of the best things about this room is this fridge, which thankfully came with the place and I didn't have to buy separately, but I put my sodas in it so that I can just grab some caffeine when I need it to help energize me to crush the Necrons. But yeah, this is my wargaming room. I'm super hyped for it. We need to wrap this video up, so let's go ahead and do an outro. All right, that has been it for our new studio tour. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed it. I know that I'm going to thoroughly enjoying filming in this space and showing you all the cool stuff that I'm going to be doing here. Now, before I head out, I do want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for making it so content like this can continue to happen. Without your guys' support, we would not be doing this, so thank you very, very much. And if you'd like to join them and get access to my private Discord channel, then you can find a link in the description below. In the meantime, I have been Angela, and I hope you have a wonderful hobby night.